There's a warning this morning that more than 1 million pensioners living in poverty might not qualify for the winter fuel payment if MPs vote in favour of Keir Starmer's plan to means test it next week.
Yes, the Prime Minister has defended his decision, saying he needs to fill a £22 billion black hole in the public finances. Well, we're going to debate if it's right for pensioners to pay that price in just a moment. Here's Charlotte, though, with a look at what the winter fuel payments are and who will be able to claim them.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the details. The annual payments were introduced back in 1997. They are worth between £200 and £300, and up until this year were available to everyone above state pension age, which is 66 in the UK, to help with their heating bills. However, in July, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced that not all pensioners in England and Wales will be eligible for the payment this year, with around 10 million expected to be affected. Instead, payments will be restricted to those above state pension age who are on pension credit or benefits. Pensioners can claim their winter fuel payments for this year from Monday, the 16th of September.
Indeed.
So, is it right to strip pensioners who are not on benefits of winter fuel payments? We can talk to founding member of Fuel Poverty Action, Ruth London, who says the cut could lead to more deaths this winter, and former Labour Party spokesperson James Matthewson, who thinks it's a necessary decision. James, starting with you, clearly the government say there was a hole in the finances. They had to take immediate action. Very clear Labour principle. Those with the broadest shoulders should bear the greatest burden. That seems to involve pensioners on low incomes.
It does. I think this, unfortunately, the situation we found ourselves in here, and if we were to believe the government and to take this in good faith about this black hole, which, as I understand it, is the situation, seems to be the situation that's been found, there are so few options left to the government to find finances and to find where that money makes sense, because they've put themselves into this box with this triple lock on tax, as we know. And the options that are left are so few. There's a disparity here as well between generational differences, the view on this across the spectrum, but it's not politically expedient. It's not the political sensible thing to do. As you know, pensioners vote. You can rely on pensioners to vote.
So you're not defending this?
No, I defend the necessity of it, but it shows you how necessary it's been when Rachel Reeves herself doesn't want to have to do this.
Your first target, when you look into the public finances, you say, right, we're going to target people who earn anything above £11,300 a year. That's your first target.
I think the first target, as we'll see in the budget, should be things like corporation tax.
Yes.
It'll be things... I think we'll see that coming in the budget as well.
Corporation.
As we'll see for, capital gains and things like that, I think will be up for grabs in the budget. I would hope that we will see this. This alone, on its own, and this is where the government is, I think, messed up from a PR perspective with how this has been handled. I think it's been left out on its own and in the cold light of day, out of context and out of the holistic system of taxation. It's scaring people. It's frightening people.
It's interesting, James, because you're the person here to defend it, and even you can't find very much to justify it. Meanwhile, Ruth London, you're from the Fuel Poverty Action Group. If you claim pension credit, you will be entitled to the winter fuel allowance, but we know that almost 1 million people don't even claim the pension credit to which they're entitled.
That's right.
I find it absolutely extraordinary.
Almost 1 million don't claim, and then there are 2 million more who are just above that level and don't qualify for it, but still can't heat their homes. And people will die. It's not a theory. Every winter, thousands die because they're in cold, damp homes. They end up in hospitals. It costs the NHS a packet as well, but it costs people their lives and families their loved ones when people cannot keep healthy because they're cold. And it's an absolute scandal. This is a wealthy country. It's not a necessity. And I understand that the government's inherited a very bad situation. And now that they've discovered the black hole, I think it's an excellent opportunity for them to say, OK, things were not exactly as they were when we made our promises, and we will not stick by the Tory fiscal rules that we have chained ourselves to. We will look at a different kind of economics where people count first and not, frankly, the profits of the fossil fuel companies who've been making their money off our backs.
Gordon Brown said that when he introduced the winter allowance, he didn't want to have a situation where people were choosing between heating and eating. And
People
your
can't
argument,
do either.
and are people are making that choice because of losing the winter allowance?
They're making that choice, but sometimes they can't eat or eat.
Rachel Reeves says, but the pension's going up by more than inflation. They're going to be better off.
If you look at what's happening in people's lives now, and you see people who can't heat and are going hungry and can't put a kettle on, people who are sitting in dark rooms in the evening with the windows open to benefit from the street lights. You know, this is 21st century Britain. It's one of the richest countries in the world, and there are political choices being made where money has been sucked up out of the population, a lot of it through our bills, you know, and we end up with 1% of the population having as much wealth as 70% at the bottom. You know, the inequality that has been chosen by successive governments has led to this situation, and the energy pricing policy is part of that.
This is a decision that has been made by the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves. The same Rachel Reeves who tweeted this back in 2017. This is a Labour poster, Labour for her, and the very same Rachel Reeves tweeted, "Love this poster. It's Labour who will stand up for pensioners, defending the triple lock and winter fuel payments." 2024, Rachel Reeves has decided that if you earn over £11,344, you will not be able to claim the winter fuel payment anymore. And a decision made by Sir Keir Starmer, who just a couple of months ago told Good Housekeeping magazine that energy bills are the biggest thing in the world. Let's have a look. And there's going to be more, James.
Yeah, I think there's
because of what they're doing.
I think there's two elements here. I think there is an angle where you look at this and you say there's hypocrisy in this, there's hypocrisy inside of it, and I can understand how it can come across like that. However, I do think that we have to explore the idea that the Labour Party in government, getting into government and looking at the options that are available, that are presented to them in the Treasury, and where they can access finances quickly. Because remember, if you stop paying something that you're already paying, that's a lot quicker than it is to levy a new tax, to levy a new income
Why not make
stream
the
from
cut-off
elsewhere.
point way higher?
Well, I think there is a good point with
because
this.
I think even wealthy pensioners who, you know, own their own houses and have a good income would say, I don't need the winter fuel payment.
Well, that doesn't
But
happen
people-
currently. People do continue to claim it regardless of that. And I
Yeah,
think there is a
okay.
generational difference with wealth
Because
and how we look at it.
there's probably just, you know, make it easier for them not to claim. Or in the tax return, you know, don't give it to them. But they've made it to, they're going to apply it to anybody who claims pension credit. And in fact, it's even if you are entitled to pension credit but don't currently claim it, you won't get the winter fuel payment.
Yeah, and I think this is a failing of pension credit as a wider system. These people who are trying to sign up now and who Rachel Reeves is trying to do this last-minute rush to get signed up so that they can apply this to that existing system, they should already be in receipt of pension credit.
But
But that's
very
not
entitled
how
to
it actually works.
They should have it.
How it actually works is that people will be left cold now. And, you know, there's a time issue. You can say, OK, it should be better, there should be a better designed plan, and so on. We would agree with that. But at the moment, rushing into this with no consultation, you know, no look at the impact, and just saying we're going to cut people off to the extent that they will die, you know, that is something that we frankly didn't really expect from a Labour government. People have gone through decades waiting, rather patiently, I might say, not rising up in millions, not saying, OK, we're going to riot in the streets, until now, when they think, OK, maybe we can get something more.
It's understandable, Ruth. I mean, I'm one of the people who's campaigned for a Labour government for years, you know. I mean, I never thought, you know, in a million years, why would I get into politics to cut money from people, to take money away
And
from
to be
people?
fair to you, James,
Rachel
you
Reeves
said
is
you
the same.
feared it was a PR mistake. And we asked our viewers
Yeah.
whether James is right or wrong. Do you
1
think
in
it's
4
right?
agree with you that it's right to strip pensioners of winter fuel payments.
There are much better solutions.
74% say no, it's wrong to take the money.
You know, what we're putting forward is a completely different kind of energy pricing.
Right.
We call it energy for all, and it would mean that every family, every home is guaranteed enough energy to cover the essentials. That's like heating, lighting, cooking, washing, and charging devices, including disability devices. disability
Thank you.
aids.
And
that would be paid for
Yep.
by higher prices on the people who can afford it.
Let me just tell you what some of the viewers are saying. While the MPs sit in their warm, cosy homes and government buildings this winter, hundreds of the elderly will die from freezing cold. Shame on them. Tracy, my granddad, lives on his own already. He's had to give up his TV because he can't afford the licence. Now he's going to have to sit in a cold house this winter. It's not fair, Joy says. It's disgusting how the government's treating the pensioners in the last years of their life.